Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. I think this is pretty telling. 601% increase. Russia unleashes unmatched gold buying spree. Guys, Russia has increased their daily gold purchases from about 1.12 billion rubles to about 8.2 billion for the next month, a staggering 601% increase. And that, guys, is clearly signifying a bold shift in their economic strategy. Now, why would they be doing this unless there was some kind of an MO? So some of the key points here, as I just mentioned, they've increased their purchasing 601%. Gold as a means of payment. Russia and China use gold to circumvent sanctions and continue trade. So obviously there's that BRICS connection there, circumventing the US dollar. This is a multi-step process. Gold is purchased in Russia, transported to Hong Kong. It is then sold, and the proceeds are deposited in local bank accounts. So as Western sanctions continue to tighten around Russia, the country is turning to precious metals to circumvent financial restrictions and maintain trade relationships with their key partners. In a significant move, Russia has announced it will increase its daily gold purchases to 8.2 billion rubles, a staggering increase of 601% monthly from previous levels. And so, of course, precious metals. This is how, while countries with sanctions do trade. Either that or they're going to use technology that they've developed, perhaps that is built on DLT. I think eventually those systems will be rolled out in a more prominent fashion. I think for now, though, Russia is, they're trying to move value in a way that is, traditionally has just worked between them and their trading partners. So in this case, they are, buying up gold. This does also mark something interesting. The fact that Russia has been buying up gold, China too has been buying up gold, and other BRICS nations also are very gold rich. And now the new members, the ones that are looking to get into the BRICS, they also do have large stockpiles of gold. So, there have been murmurings that this new BRICS currency is going to be backed by gold. So it isn't necessarily strange that Russia is doing this. Maybe in this particular case, the 601% increase in the span of a month, that could be for a specific trade with China, and the fact that they are, depositing it in a bank in Hong Kong, I guess, could suggest that. But again, I'm just speculating. Thought it was interesting, though. I mean, this is just demonstrating to me how the BRICS nations are going to be very influential on the world stage moving forward, and how DLT technology is going to support a lot of that BRICS trade moving forward, too. I mean, Ripple has already partnered up with many of these BRICS central banks. So I guess we will have to see how that plays out. I wanted to bring this up too, guys, with regards to AMM pools. They are now at an all-time high. Check this out. Bill Morgan here pointing this out. Pooled XRP in the XRPL AMM just keeps growing steadily in the right direction. We are now at 13 million XRP that has been pooled, that has been locked up in the AMMs. So you got to think these XRP taken out of circulation. And so for those of you guys over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel, and I even talk about it on the YouTube channel, me personally, I know I'm not interested in locking up my crypto. I am looking for those big moves. I'm looking to sell, the coins that definitely are going to seek the most profit this bull run. But I also have a strategy for my XRP and some others. I'm going to keep a portion. I'm going to be selling a portion. But really, it's about pinpointing this market, guys, pinpointing this bull run. And for more information on what I think, you can follow me over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. But it's good. I mean, those participating in the AMMs, that's positive news. We are seeing more utility for XRP, which, never hurts. Wanted to thank Bill for posting that. Mike Manfield, guys, bringing this to our attention. Ant Group has seen a 300% rise in international users adopting mobile payments in China. And this is just, pretty much the first 3 quarters of 2024. Now, I do want to bring something up here, okay? Alipay and Ant Financial are partnered together, and RippleNet back in 2022 did team up with the Alipay parent company to improve digital payments in Asia specifically. So again, this was from back in 2022. Talking about a RippleNet partner, 2C2P, they just inked a strategic partnership with Ant Group, the parent company of Alipay, according to a release. And 2C2P does have a strategic partnership with Ripple. So now we're seeing this Ripple affiliated partner, Ant Group, seeing a 300% rise in international users adopting mobile payments. Obviously, a lot of these partnerships are paying off a couple of years later. We are seeing the development. We're seeing more DLT integration. So Ant Group today did announce the number of international visitors who have used its mobile payment services in China quadrupled over the past 6 months following the launch of the International Consumer Friendly Zones program in March, that has now expanded to 70 Chinese cities. Speaking at the 2024 Inclusion Conference on the Bund, Cyril Han, president and CFO of Ant Group, he said transaction volumes of inbound tourists using Ant-supported mobile payment services grew sixfold between March and August of 2024 year on year. This surge has created significant business opportunities for local merchants. The number of Chinese merchants regularly servicing overseas travelers through the company's mobile payment solutions have tripled during the same period. Since 2019, guys, Ant Group, with the support of the People's Bank of China, have collaborated with international card networks and overseas digital wallets to drive innovation in inbound mobile payments, a collective effort known as the China Payment Facilitation Partnership. And so during 2023 at the Hangzhou Asian Games, Ant introduced two mobile payment solutions for international visitors, and the number of supported international payment partners has continued to grow since. So they introduced this at a worldwide sporting event. Considering visitors were coming from many different countries, it would only make sense to roll out an international payments platform. And guys, they're seeing that, or they did see that it was successful. Of course, Ant Group, again, connected to Ripple through that initial partnership, the B2C2 partnership. So here's just another example of, these secondary and tertiary Ripple partnerships really kind of knocking it out of the park. So I wanted to thank Mike just for bringing that up. Guys, I also happen to see this. TerraPay president says cross-border payments need global digital wallet network. We know Ripple's also partnered with TerraPay. TerraPay's president, Ruben Salazar Genovez, he said, "We have huge respect for all the technology and the architecture and the user experience that our partners have been building in their domestic spaces. But the reality is that today it's very easy to travel with a piece of plastic, but it's very difficult to travel with a piece of software. And so we want to enable these wallets to be able to provide the same user experience and the same sort of payment capabilities when they travel abroad. And that's a gigantic task." But TerraPay, they've obviously seen a solution for this. Their infrastructure connects more than 100 digital wallets, reaching more than 2.1 billion users. That is huge. That is about roughly about 1 in 4 people on planet Earth. And the company is leading the Wallet Interoperability Council. They initially announced this on August the 20th. It had partnered with 5 leading wallet operators. Guys, some of these are already Ripple partners, like Bcash, I can just tell you off the top, and M-Pesa does also have a Ripple connection to facilitate seamless cross-border transactions between users in many different countries, including Bangladesh, Colombia, Kenya, Senegal, Tanzania, and Uganda. The council seeks to address the growing demand for global wallet interoperability, enabling users to make international payments and remittances more easily. It's in their best interest, these companies like Ripple partner TerraPay, to facilitate this type of endeavor when they know that payment providers, the more interoperable they are, the more business they can do with other payment providers that might not necessarily that might maybe a client, a mutual client of them and another company. Like, let's say somebody comes to the country and they are using another bank, or they're using another application software, and they want to make a cross-border payment because they're at an event and visiting the country or whatever. It behooves them to be as interoperable as possible. And so, with leveraging RippleNet technology, of course, we are already seeing these other Ripple partners involved. It probably makes it a lot easier. A lot of this can be done over the XRP ledger, leveraging XRP to facilitate those transactions between, exotic currencies from Bangladesh and Colombia, just as an example here. He also says we're not very prescriptive from TerraPay's point of view over the terms of technology. I guess they just want to make sure that the pain points are taken care of. And again, this has to do with interoperability, and that's going to take shape in many different forms. So it is interesting to note that the council has already met several times, said the CEO of TerraPay. He said, it is starting by understanding the different technologies that exist in each wallet operator and working to establish a standard language for how to process all types of transactions. There are also legal and regulatory hurdles that each wallet operator will need to overcome to operate across borders, which is part of the early and ongoing discussions. So again, guys, an endeavor, a challenge that they are seeking to solve. TerraPay, a longtime Ripple partner, partnering up part of this initiative here to make cross-border payments seamless in these particular countries. So I thought that was interesting. Going to keep moving along, guys. Airwallex, another Ripple partner with some great news. Airwallex's Hong Kong first trade report has revealed that 90% of import and export businesses embrace fintech to expedite cross-border operations. So we are seeing cross-border operations now. 90% of import and export businesses are expanding, or rather embracing, finance technology. So DLT technology as just one example of that. Airwallex Hong Kong has announced the launch of its inaugural import and export trade report. Over half of the surveyed import and export trade operators out of Hong Kong are grappling with rising business costs as the majority eye fintech solutions and market expansion into Northeast Asia and Southeast Asia to stay competitive. So these guys are realizing, okay, because costs are going on everywhere, costs are going up. Inflation is really taking everybody for a ride, really. And they're saying, we need to stay competitive. So how do we do that? Well, we got to cut costs in other places. And so, the old way of moving money just wasn't going to cut it. And now what these guys are realizing, okay, I guess we can move to fintech. And 90% of them are saying, okay, that was a strategic move and it was a great move. Here's a quote: "As global trade evolves, Hong Kong remains a critical gateway for businesses looking to expand into new markets, whether they are sourcing from international suppliers or sellers to customers across borders. Our reports show that SMEs are embracing fintech not just to stay competitive, but to drive growth across borders." And guys, RippleNet Technologies, again, this is from Ripple partner Airwallex. RippleNet Technology is going to help this along. Hong Kong's prominence as an international trade hub is well established, with 75% of respondents highlighting the city's tax-friendly environment as a major draw. So that also doesn't hurt. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when the importers, exporters, they see that their business is thriving because of fintech solutions, well, how could you move backwards, right? You won't. So if anything, this is just going to promote more adoption of fintech technologies, and likely we will see more importers and exporters using Airwallex, for example, and thus leveraging RippleNet technology as a result. So that is also some great news, guys, coming out of Asia. I wanted to share this report with you too, guys, from Cyprus to Menoncore here on Twitter. Financial systems are undergoing a profound transformation. Take a look at some of these partners. Actually, let's just take a look at some of these statistics. Okay, the evolution of the internet. Of course, first we had Web 1, Web 2, and now we're increasing control with users with Web 3. Users can control and govern their own data. No need to trust a central entity. They can reduce the need for intermediaries, leading to increased efficiencies. So I will link this in the description if you guys want to read more. But I just wanted to show you guys some of these partnerships, projects, and entities featured in this report. Of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, some major cryptocurrency projects. They've got the Paris Olympics here, also listed, Canadian bank, large Canadian bank, RBC, Walmart, Deloitte. So these are big names, guys. Chainlink, Ripple, of course, is in there too. Hyperledger Fabric, the Stellar Network, R3's Corda. So there are also some Ripple partners in this report here. We've also got PricewaterhouseCoopers. So that is big. BMW is a partner with VeChain. And then the big pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer, they're in here as well, along with many other companies that are rounding out the list. So big companies here, guys, promoting tokenization, realizing the vision of a future financial ecosystem. And this was a report that was just put out August, September 2024. And as they mention here, okay, in an era of rapid technological advancements, shifting economic paradigms, and evolving market demands, the landscape of asset management and financial systems is undergoing a profound transformation. So many people, this is not the first time I've seen this either. So many influential people in the space, and I'm not talking just the cryptocurrency types. I'm talking about the regulators. I'm talking about the politicians, the people on top, people governing these changes, right? They are all saying they're all saying the same thing, right? The messaging is the same across the globe. This is a transformation like no other transformation that we've seen before. This is going to be a fundamental transformation that is going to have a long-lasting effect, or forever a lasting effect on how we do business moving forward. This goes on to say traditional models are being challenged, necessitating a reevaluation of existing practices and the adoption of innovative approaches. As we navigate this dynamic environment, it becomes increasingly imperative to assess what is reshaping the industry landscape and the role of that blockchain technology can play a revolutionizing asset management globally, or can play into revolutionizing asset management globally. So then they go into real-world assets. Of course, we have to examine real-world assets, or RWAs, tokenization on blockchain platforms. And again, guys, look at the platforms that are listed. Of course, we've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, but we've also got Ripple, Chainlink, Stellar. So maybe giving you guys a bit of a hint as to where, the real world assets are going to be tokenized, which cryptocurrencies in the future are going to perhaps increase in value. I don't know, not financial advice, of course, but maybe a bit of a hint here. So they're drawing insights from industry leaders, academics, and policymakers. At the core of this work lies the recognition of the significant impact that blockchain-enabled tokenization can have on enhancing liquidity, transparency, and accessibility for various asset classes. These include architectural, seeds, drinks, real estate, art, and national heritage. So branching off, really kind of realizing what other kinds of applications are going to be tokenized, because in our heads, and especially, for bankers, we've always thought tokenization or cryptocurrencies, I guess that is a thing that, we can get behind in terms of the financial markets. But, when you talk about national heritage or natural resources or minerals or milk products, all that stuff is still very abstract, I think, for a lot of people. And, there is still a bit of an education curve that, a lot of these people in business need to learn before they can accept tokenization for what it is. Luckily, though, we do have people explaining it from, well-respected organizations like the World Bank. This coming from Subjective Views here. This is Jean Pesme, Global Director of Finance, Competitiveness, and Innovation at the World Bank. And guys, this is what he says with regards to, tokenization is going to take it one step further, but here they're focused on cross-border payments, leveraging public and private sectors. Listen to this.
There is a balance between private sector and public sector, as always in this situation. So what we see, and we have very good example here, is also supervisor creating more space for innovation, balancing that with consumer protection and financial stability, but creating those sandbox, allowing innovation, which is very welcome. And again, we are all learning, sometimes running after the innovation of the private sector. So finding that balance is good. And I think MENA is really helping, and Saudi Arabia setting the example.
All right. What are, in your opinion, the key challenges and opportunities in establishing those standards globally for the fintech sector?
So, cross-border transaction, cross-border payment is a huge priority for the World Bank. I mean, just think about the impact on remittances in a lot of economies. So first, to the GDP of the countries, but also to the people receiving this money. So we want to make them faster, more efficient, more accessible, and more transparent. This is an agenda for the World Bank. This is an agenda for the global community. There is a G20 roadmap. And we are already seeing the benefit of fintech in cross-border payment, not as much as we would want, so this is the agenda of tomorrow. So you have application offering multi-currency payments and transaction. The fast payment revolution, which is at the moment very much a domestic one, in our view brings a lot of potential for cross-border payment, because you can link together fast payment between different countries. This is the interoperability. And how to say that word is in itself complicated, but where you connect domestic system and allow for seamless transaction. That means a lot of regulatory works to make sure that people use the same standard and a mutual recognition, but by this direct link, you can be faster, more efficient solution, and this is really what it makes it also more accessible. And then there is a benefit for the economy and the customers. But for this, you need to have the foundations in place. And I think one important finding that we have is that the progress made at the domestic system, including fast payment, has benefit immediately on cross-border payment. So just a couple of numbers. The cost of sending remittances from Singapore to India when you use digital channels is already under 1%, which is 50% lower than when you don't use digital channel. So you see the impact on cost immediately. We see already global players, including SWIFT, connecting the system together. So we see a lot of evolution. But for this to happen, you need to put in place the foundation somehow from a regulatory and technological standpoint at the domestic level. So fast payment system, using them completely, opening the market, interoperability even domestically, so that you don't have silos between the system, ISO, so standard in terms of quality control. So we see a lot of progress at the domestic level, and really the next agenda is interlinking the payment so that you can connect directly cross-border, and that's where new technology, new innovation, and the fintech can play an important role.
He reiterated it several times here, the fact that, they've been looking at the domestic side, and guys, how that is eventually going to translate into cross-border innovation, whether it is payments. And I think, they are focusing on the payments first. Again, this is the World Bank. Let's not forget. But then, guys, comes the next use case, tokenization. the real world utility coins and the projects that are really going to make a difference in the coming years. So make sure you guys are trading the right coins in the spec market, but guys, also make sure that you have a plan for the future. For more information on what I'm doing, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I am just sharing my trading journey. It is not financial advice, but I'm showing you guys what I'm doing this bull run. I've been in crypto since 2017 and I've learned a thing or two since then. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.